Bekle, sakin ol. Başlayayım mı? Tamam. Distinguished Rector, Distinguished Vice Rector, Distinguished Secretary General, Distinguished Deans, faculty members, guests, dear students. Good afternoon. Welcome to our seminar. Today, we are welcoming a very distinguished guest and speaker, the former Undersecretary of Transport and Infrastructure of Italy, Honorary Paolo Mamola. Honorary Paolo Mamola spent over a decade in the Italian Parliament as a parliamentarian and from 2001 to 2005 as Undersecretary to the Italian Ministry of State for Transport and Infrastructure. He has been CEO of several companies and was 50% shareholder in the OpenSelex consortium with Finmeccanica Group, now called Leonardo, Italy's largest defense and technology company. He was the co-founder of Silvio Berlusconi's Forza Italia party, who was the leading political force in Italy during the years 1994 to 1995, 2001 to 2006, and 2008 to 2011. He is a recognized expert for e-government and government-related software solutions. Honorary Paolo Mamola studied economy and trade at the University of Turin before entering the board and management of his family business, which employed over 1,100 people in Turin, Italy. Following his political career, he has become a policy advisor to the industrial and political elites in matters of economy matters and national digital infrastructures. Recently, the Chinese Academy of Social Science certified him as official expert in China-EU relations. He is an expert for LTE, 4G and 5G technologies, and also for digital land and sea-based fiber cable infrastructure and deployment. He is an advisor and board member in Swiss and Italian high-tech corporations and founding member of International Privacy Machines Limited. His relationship network extends from Italy to the European Parliament, where he promotes the need for a modern and pan-European approach to privacy and cybersecurity. His focus is on creating awareness for the new GDPR framework and advising policymakers, public administration, and industry to master on smoothing the transition into this new legal framework. Honorary Paolo Mamola has accepted the invitation of our university, and now he is going to present a seminar with the theme, The Strategic Importance of Technology, Digitization and Internationalization of Manufacturing Clusters. Now, my colleague, Ms. Ase Topçu, will also make the announcement in Turkish. Thank you.
Sayın Rektörümüz, değerli misafirlerimiz, üniversitemizin değerli akademik ve idari personeli, kıymetli öğrencilerimiz, üretim kümelerinin teknoloji, dijitalleşme ve uluslararasılaşmasının stratejik önemi seminerimize hepiniz hoş geldiniz. Bugün aramızda bizleri kırmayarak üniversitemizin davetini kabul eden son derece seçkin bir konuğumuz ve konuşmacımız bulunuyor. İtalya Eski Ulaştırma ve Altyapı Müsteşarı Sayın Paolo Mamola Sayın Paolo, İtalyan parlamentosunda 10 yıldan fazla bir süre parlamenter olarak ve 2001'den 2005'e kadar da İtalya Ulaştırma ve Altyapı Devlet Başkanlığı Müsteşarı olarak görev yapmıştır. Şu anda ise önemli birçok şirketin CEO'luk görevini ifa etmektedir. Kendisi aynı zamanda İtalya'nın en büyük savunma ve teknoloji şirketi olan, şimdi Leonardo olarak bilinen Finmeccanica Grup ile Open Select Konsoryumunda da eski %50 hissedarlardandır. İtalya'nın önde gelen siyasi gücü olan Silvio Berlusconi'nin Forza Italia Partisi'nin kurucu ortağı olarak 1994-95, 2001-2006 ve 2008-2011 yılları arasında görev almıştır. Aynı zamanda e-devlet ve hükümetle ilgili yazılım çözümleri konusunda tanınmış bir uzmandır. Sayın Paolo, İtalya'nın Torino kentinde 1100'den fazla kişiyi istihdam eden aile şirketinin yönetim kuruluna ve yönetimine girmeden önce Torino Üniversitesi'nde ekonomi ve ticaret okudu. Siyasi kariyerinin ardından e-ekonomi meseleleri ve ulusal ticaret, dijital altyapı konularında endüstriyel ve siyasi seçkinlere politika danışmanlığı yaptı. Son zamanlarda Çin Sosyal Bilimler Akademisi onu Çin-Avrupa Birliği ilişkilerinde resmi uzman olarak onayladı. 4G ve 5G teknolojileri ve ayrıca dijital kara, deniz tabanlı fiber kablo altyapısı ve dağıtımı konularında da uzmandır. Sayın Paolo Mamola, İsviçre ve İtalyan yüksek teknoloji şirketlerine danışman ve yönetim kurulu üyesi ve International Privacy Mansion Ltd'nin de kurucu üyesidir. İlişki ağı İtalya'dan Avrupa Parlamentosu'na kadar uzanır ve siber güvenliğe ve gizliliğe, modern ve pan-Avrupa yaklaşımını da desteklemektedir. Temel hedefi yeni GDPR çerçevesi için farkındalık yaratmak ve politika yapıcılara, kamu idaresine ve sektöre bu yeni yasal çerçeveye geçişi yumuşatma konusunda tavsiyelerde bulunmaktadır. Sayın Paolo Mamola, üniversitemizin davetini kabul etti ve şimdi üretim kümelerinin teknoloji, dijitalleşme ve uluslararasılaşmasının stratejik önemi konulu seminerini sunacak. Alkışlarınızla kürsüye teşriflerini arz ederim.
Sorry. Good afternoon. First of all, thank you to all the students to be here today. For me, it's a sort of a big jump in my past, because I remember when, more or less, 42 years ago, I was sit on the other side at your place, and I was listening professors or speakers that were teaching us something in my university where I studied in Turin, my home city, where I studied economy. And for that reason, I want to, first of all, say thank you to your rector, Mr. Professor Murat Yulek, that gave me this great occasion, because I'm no more habit to speak in public, because I probably forget my old rule in politics. I spent 12 years, but just for introducing myself, probably it's better that I explain which was my past. I studied economy. When I was studying, I started immediately working, probably as you are doing, because this morning I understood from the first contact I had with your university that you are not only studying, but you are starting to have the habit to attend also companies and to see which is the real world in which you are going to be introduced, the world of the job. And so I started working, and my first experience was in the financial field. I was working for an important in the banking group in the financial services. I was one of the younger people that was doing this job here in Italy. And then when I was more or less 29, 30 years old, my family asked to me to come back into the family company. And so I started to deal with the people and with the real and great business up to the moment that in 1993, I had this meeting that changed my life completely. The meeting with this guy, with these people that probably you heard about him, Mr. Silvio Berlusconi, that was a big entrepreneur in the media corporation system in Italy. And it was like a flash. It was like a light for him and for me. And he asked me one thing. I need people, young people like you, in order to do something for this country. I want to do some in politics. I want to change our country, and I need you. And I said to him, listen, Mr. President, I have a job, I have a company to manage, I have 100,000 people working for me, I have to take care of them. And he said to me, don't worry, I cannot give you what your job is giving you from the economical and social point of view, but I will do of you a public man. He was right. In 1994, after 6 months, I contributed to the born of this new party in Italy that won the election. And after 6 months from this first meeting, I was sit without any experience, let me say, in the Italian parliament. In that occasion, I said to myself, okay, now I'm here, what I can do? Because I don't know this kind of job. It's absolutely new for me. And my focus was to do something for the people that elected me. And so I decided that for my region, for my town, for my country, the most important thing was at that time to have a good infrastructure and transport system. And so I decided to work, and that was the right decision probably, in this field of the politics. And I developed all my knowledge only and exclusively in this field. You know, all the politicians like me, because I'm here and I will talk for sure a lot, too much probably, but politicians are happy to talk and to talk about everything, and they know everything about everything. I was not of that idea, so I specialized myself in transport system. I worked for 7 years in the parliament for the transport system and for the legislation of the transport system. I become, let me say, expert, because I studied the laws, I studied the systems, I had a lot of advisors, people teaching me about logistics, whatever is involved in this sector. And this activity during 7 years into the parliament made me to become the responsible for my party of the transportation department. So all the policy were on my shoulder. I was deciding in an autonomous way how to manage these issues. And in 2001, when we won for the second time the election, Mr. Berlusconi said to me, don't worry about anything. during the election because you will be a member of my government. And even in this occasion, he was right, and he made me a man of government. And so I had this, from one side, great experience, very interesting experience. You have the power in your hand. You have the budget. You have the money to spend. But believe me, that was the occasion in which I understood that probably politics is the hardest work and the most difficult works you can do in your life. And I don't want to enter because I am not to speak here of politics, but let me do this sentence. This was the motivation that induced me to leave politics and to come back to the normal life, to the activities, to the business, and to do initiatives in order to improve my personal situation, of course, like everyone, but to do something for, let me say, the entire society. Try to develop something that can be useful not only for my personal portfolio, but for all the people. And that was the occasion in which I entered in the software and the digital sector. So I had experience, and I managed the consortium with the Finmeccanica group, like you heard. Finmeccanica is the main industrial public company in Italy that works in a lot of fields, very important structure. And I had also this experience, very interesting, that in some way took me up to this sector where I had experience and had also some ideas. Since 2017, since 4 years, now I joined this group of people I work with in technology field, in developing projects, and we are looking with my friends and with our team to find the best place in order to develop our team, our activities. And that's the reason why we arrived also in Turkey, and we are approaching your country. And I can say also with surprise, let me say surprise, because the imagine of the Turkey, probably internationally, I speak like European, like Italian, is very different from the reality that I found here in this first contact I had with your country through your university. And that is very surprising for me. I don't want to talk hours because I am not here to make the professor, or I don't want to teach you anything, but I want to transfer, if it's possible, some experience and some knowledge to you as some concept. That's, I think it's the most important thing that I can realize during this conference. So I prefer to interact with you, so perhaps answer to your question. And I don't want to make too many considerations. But I wrote just a few lines in order to put a great picture in which we can enter into our discussion. And the consideration I did for this day is that the technological development of the second half of the 20th century has represented the most important factor for the growth of the world economy and the wellness of the people on the earth. The results obtained in several fields like chemical, medical, machinery, automation, and precision featured the birth of new products and services that have profoundly changed our life habits and improved the quality of human existence on the earth. This is the epoch, post-World War II, that with great efforts in research and development, the Western country, USA, Japan, European countries like Germany, France, Great Britain, and Italy, have built up their economic and social strength. But overall, one sector of the modern industry emerged like to be strategical to the rapid evolution of the world's economy that characterized the last 2 decades of the century: computing and telecommunications. And in parallel, the availability from the military for the public of the internet network. For my old generation, I'm more than 60 today, and I am an old generation in front of you. For my old generation, happy today to use cell phone, tablets, PC, and the countless services that we use every day through them is not so far the remember of the phone call from a public or a private phone for speaking with parents or clients, or handwriting a letter to send by mail, or rather than receive fax or telex communication in business practices. This probably is the main factor that allowed emergent Eastern economies like China, Korea, Taiwan, or India to grow with an incredible and unusual speed, and today compete and probably win with the West of the world. So that today we live in a fully connected world in the so-called system of the global economy and the global markets, with the positive and the negative effects related to the relocation of production centers and the race to maximize profits and reduce production costs to compete with the price of the global market. But recent events that unfortunately we are living in these days are showing the side of the intrinsic weakness that are compromising its very existence. International contrast with related protectionist policies first, then a pandemic phenomena, and a sudden rise in energy price cost, even before the war that we are assisting, were enough to jeopardize the international trade supply chain. In this scenario, which could become apocalyptic for many countries, it's necessary to reconsider the production and the distribution model and this possible solution. Manufacturing clusters with backed local supply chain could become the winning key for a high-quality product with reasonable prices on the market. And very probably, from my point of view, Turkey has all these capabilities, and for sure, a geopolitical centrality in the world, because you are close to Europe, you have in good partnership with the American countries, we are close and in good relationship with the Arab world in the Eastern countries, and well connected also with all the East and Russia. The geographic and political situation of Turkey, in my opinion today, is central in the world scenario. And this is these few words I wrote before coming here, because I was trying to have a line in my speech, in this occasion. But this morning, in the first meeting I had with your rector and with your university, I immediately understood that probably I was in the right place to speak of all these arguments, because your rector explained also to me, which is the target and the goal that this private university has in his mind, and which is the model that is exactly what I believe is the winning key in order to have success for a country and for an economic system behind the country. Because in this university this morning, I heard speaking about clusters. I know that behind your university, I understood, there are a lot of enterprises that are very interested that you student, you become the next generation, the next manager, the next entrepreneur that will make this country more rich. And this is very important, the connection between the university and the world of job. Because too many times we see people that is taking his degree with maximum of the vote, then they crash in front of the world of the job, because the world of the job is another world, completely different. And to start, since when you're studying inside the university, to understand what is waiting for you outside, it's a very, very important thing. Then I also heard to talk in this university about ecosystems. This is another key word that is winning for the economy. I want to try to do some example that we have in front of us in the today's scenario. 3 days ago, because of my past, I'm always interested in what happens all over the world. And so now we have in front of us a war, if we can call war this one. We have in front of us a war, but the result was that with the conflict in one single country, in Europe, in Ukraine, since 3 days, the entire car production in Germany is blocked. BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, Audi announced that they have to stop their production because some parts of the cars are manufactured in Ukraine. And as Ukraine has in this moment other problems, probably Mercedes and BMW and all the car maker in Germany doesn't know today how they can start again to produce car. And there is no time to substitute the providers, the company, the suppliers. There is no time. For my country, I can make the same example. 1 year and a half, 2 years ago, more or less, no, probably more than 2 years ago, started a sort of commercial war between China and US. The result is that in this competition, the production of chips has been reduced, and the market of the chips is very difficult today. The same happened for the Italian car maker. I heard from a friend of us that is working for the Stellantis group, is ex-Fiat and Peugeot, now joined in Stellantis. From September, they didn't receive some chips from Korea or Taiwan. And Maserati production, you know probably the brand Maserati car, Maserati production was stopped because on one car that is composed something like 20,000 different components, it was sufficient that 3 chips didn't arrive because of the supply chain broken, and the car are stopped into the line of the production. So what this mean? This means that we live in a global world, in a global market, where all the companies probably depends each other, and all the country depends each other. It's sufficient that some happening in the world broke the equilibrium, the balance between the states, and we can go in front to have big problems. That's the importance why my advice is that the right way to join is to have technological and industrial cluster able to produce and to provide products and services on site, and not only obviously for the country, but for all the world. I, in the past, used a term. The economy must become not global, not remain local, but must become glocal in the sense that you must be autonomous locally, capable to be autonomous as soon as you can locally, but with the capability to interact and to sell and to have relationship all over the world globally. This is probably the key factor of success of one economy. And another message: when you have the capability to create clusters, to create infrastructure, to create structure of companies, to work in one sector, and in my opinion, telecommunication and technology sector are the winning sector for the future, using artificial intelligence and what today the modern computing system offer to us like opportunities. Another important and very important key for the success is I try to find the right words. It's a concept that I have to recover. Sorry, it's a concept that I want to recover. Innovation, perfect. That was. When you have this opportunity, I was saying, to have the capability to create this cluster, all the people and all the entrepreneurs are able to see all around them and to see which is the best competitor, which are the competitor in the scenario. And they try always to copy. Let me use this bad word, to copy the best in order to create something new. This is the advice, the last advice that I want to let to the people here, and then we can open a discussion, and I will be glad to answer to all your questions. Copy is the key of not success. The key of success is innovate, not copy. Because to copy someone, you are going to copy someone that probably has more capabilities than you in terms of people working, in terms of money available in order to invest in research and development. To copy is to run behind someone that probably, I say for sure, is quicker and faster and stronger than you. The key of the success is innovation, is to innovate. If you are the first, if you are innovators, the others must run behind you. And you are the first, and you are the winner, always. This is the message I want to leave you. So, I think that you are living in the best environment in order to improve your capabilities, in order to have the opportunity to fast enter in the world of the production of the job, because you have companies all around you. You have the cluster. You are the innovators. Be innovators, because you will go to win for you and for your country. If there is some question, obviously.
So I have a question about your impressions about our country, for example. What is your first impressions? Okay, I'm repeating my question. It's better, I think. First of all, I want to thank you for coming, and we want to say welcome to our country. And my question is about the manufacturing environment in Turkey. What is your first impressions in terms of manufacturing? What is the difference between Europe and Turkey? Because you mentioned that you have a great environment in terms of manufacturers. What do you mean by telling that we have a good chance in terms of manufacturing? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, first of all. If I can answer to your question, I have to say before one thing. It's the first time I came in Turkey. I'm here since yesterday, and I haven't seen so much of your country. So I cannot say what I can suggest about your production system, your companies. I didn't saw sufficiently what probably I need to see in order to give an answer to your question. But as I come here, I arrived in the Istanbul airport. I can say I never seen another airport like the Istanbul one. Probably in Beijing, but Beijing, we are talking about the big China, you know? So then first impact was astonishing for me. I come from Europe, I come from Italy. We have Rome, Milan, all the cities We think we have big airports, efficient airports. Istanbul, 10 times. Then I took a car to come to Ankara. So I had the opportunity to travel from Istanbul by motorway to Ankara yesterday. And I have seen motorways that probably, in Italy for sure, but in many other European countries, you cannot see. Modern, well-maintained, clean, let me use clean. And this was the second motivation, the second thing that I remain, let me say, surprised. Because the imaging of your country abroad is probably not a third world country, obviously, because you are Turkey, you are a big state, you are a big economy. But Turkey is not always so well considered like top economies in the world. Wrong, in my opinion, wrong. Because from the infrastructural point of view, I have seen Ankara, I have seen Istanbul, modern cities, absolutely modern cities, modern. So you have the basis, the best basis in order to improve a great economy. Probably you have to work more on marketing of your country. And there are many ways to do it, and probably some idea I can also give to the people here.
Thank you.
Please.
Mr. Paulo, welcome to Turkey. I have an interesting question to you. Your last words was like, you said copy is not good. Well, it is not good actually. But I want to say the historical thieves, genius people like Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, Alexander Graham Bell, and so on. I think that copy is good. And for example, you can copy the idea and develop it and make it better. And it will be the progress, the development. What do you think about that?
I cannot compete with the people you have mentioned. Okay, I am not Albert Einstein for sure. I look to the international business scenario. Okay. Good ideas, yes, you can copy good ideas. Ideas are ideas, but solutions to these ideas are the key. And if you try to copy the ideas, okay, you can also probably have a good result, but you cannot win. You cannot win. You copy. Probably there are many sectors in the economy where many companies can live. Most successful, less successful, but everybody can live and have the space in the market, their space in the market. But in the global world, if you want to create real business and if you want to have success, real success, you must be the first and you must be the only one. This is in front of us. When I started to use computers, it was probably 1994, 1995. I had my first PC. Technologically speaking, I was a donkey in the sense that my only ability was to plug a router, to push a button, and to write a new message by mail. That was my capabilities. But I remember very well that At that times, I could choose probably among 20 different operators providing me connection and services of connection to the network. There were thousands of operators all over the world. But at the end of the day, today, if you open a computer in the world, 98 or 99%, the first page you open is Google search. That's the answer. There were thousands of operators, probably many of them made also money at that time. The most died, and today there is one winner, Google, all over the world. This is the winning model in the sense that obviously there are sectors where you can operate and you can have success entering in a market, providing solution or products similar to others. These are markets. But if you go in technology, if you go in innovation, it means to create something new. And when you create something new, you make fortune. Fortune for you, that you are the inventor, but fortune for your country. That's the goal you have to reach in this country, to become innovators and to become the nation where the biggest company of the world tomorrow can say, we born in Ankara, we born in Turkey.
Thank you, sir. Well, innovation will save the world. Thank you.
Mr. Mamola, welcome again. We are so glad to listen to you. This is Dr. Begüm Şahin. I'm the head of entrepreneurship and leadership office as well. So as you mentioned, innovation is very important. So we are also trying to inform our students in the beginning, in the first year in our entrepreneurship classes. And it is innovation if it meets the market needs and demands and meet the customer. What I'm going to ask is, I'm wondering, is there some similarities, the background, the ecosystem of entrepreneurship and technoparks, and how you forward the technology-based, technology-oriented education to the university students, and what about the similarities with Turkey and Italy? Because we are a little bit look like each other. So a general point of view, just to mention. Thank you.
Thank you to you for your question. You make me in great difficulties. Because obviously, I think that not only in Turkey, you can imagine, and not only in Italy, people talk about cluster of companies that support universities and blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. One of the reasons why I left politics is because there is time to talk and there is time to do. In Italy, perhaps, there is only time to talk in politics. And even, excuse me, even in the public institutions that lives to the shadow of the politicians, because everything is connected. I don't know in your country, but I can assure you, if you have, in Italy, if you don't have any, let me use one soft term, political support from any leadership in the country, you don't become rector of one university. Okay? So, to be honest and to be clear, in Italy, the situation is not so good, let me use this term. Obviously, I had contact with the Italian university. I visited a lot in my town, in Rome, and not only in my town and in Rome. But I didn't find the spirit that I have seen this morning here in your university. And I hope for you and for your university that this spirit is real. Because if it's real, you are on the way of the success. That's my opinion. So I hope that your rector, your professor Murat, is able to remain in this, let me use this term, neutral position, because obviously in this position he has to manage a relationship with the industrial world, with the political world, but I hope for him that he will remain on his way, autonomous, collaborating, because without collaboration and without support of that two big entities that are working aside of you, you cannot success. But if he remains in the position that he took, I think that your university has a great future in front of him. That's my opinion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your insightful presentation. My name is Bahar Erdal. I am the director of the Social Sciences Institute. I would like to ask, you know, we are living in an uncertain environment like wars between Russia and Ukraine, and there is a COVID pandemic. How this uncertain environment affect the globalization of manufacturing clusters? What do you think about this? If so, what could be done to prevent the negative effects of this uncertain environment on globalization of the manufacturing clusters? Thank you very much.
This is let me say, is more a political question than a technical question. Because my first answer could be, we have to avoid, first of all, wars that are completely insane, without sense in the 21st century. We know that wars is not possible. War are not possible anymore because war become immediately global war. You cannot make war to one state without any compromission of relationship, tension, international tensions that put the giants and the blocks, let me say, Western, Eastern, Russia, China, US, NATO, one in front of the other. Nobody can today, I think, run the risk of a global war. And local war in the global world become global immediately. If not in the army, in the conflict, in the economy. It was, I can give you a news. I read from the news, the Italian news today. What happened this morning in Libya, country that I think you know very well in the last years, the conflict between the Tripoli's government and the General Haftar government, you know that we have two factions now that try to lead the country, started again. And it's not casual that after a month or 1 year of peace in Libya, this morning the war started again between the two factions. The result, you know, which is that the national gas and oil corporation, Italian gas corporation, that works in Libya, because we buy gas from Libya in Italy, has the pipeline closed by the Libyans. And for Italy, after losing probably a lot of gas from Russia through the Nord Stream 1, because of the war, the sanction, and blah, blah, blah. If we cut the second level of gas provisioning in my country, I don't know tomorrow morning what can happen. Blackout, industry that close, probably 1 million people without job from tomorrow morning. That's the scenario. So what we can avoid? Obviously, in front of war, we have no chance. We are seeing in this day, and we will see if this conflict will go again, will go far, that the result will be negative for all the countries all over the world. We go in front of a global crisis. From the economical point of view, obviously, the worst position is for the Ukrainian people, of course. And everybody would like not to see what we are seeing this day. But all the world will have big, big, big damages from the economical and social point of view from one local war that become, I repeat, global. Pandemic. Pandemic is pandemic. Can happen. Probably in this time, we made this pandemic bigger than what was real, but I don't want to say nothing more. How the cluster? The cluster are not the solution to the problems of the world, are not the solution to the global conflict, but can allow a country to live and to be not, I don't want to use wrong words, but to be more efficient and to be more strong in front of the markets. Not depends from the markets. It's a point of strength of the economy that must be chosen. Please.
Thank you very much. Dr. Bulgurlu, I'm from OSTİM Technical University. As you know, the American has dollar, but American has its dollar, say American dollar, also has 50 states, but one federal state, okay? But Euro has 28 countries, but has its Euro, but has 28 countries, not federal state. So it means that you have no free independent fiscal policy and monetary policy or something like that. So if you need fiscal or press money or from your country, are you happy with dollar, happy with euro or not? How about the next or future of the euro?
Thank you for the question. I want to say only one thing. I don't want to talk about politics in this. Yes, this is politics. Sorry, this is politics. But from your question, you are hiding my hairs. And I give you an answer. Obviously, America has one money, has one currency, and this is one strength, point of strength. European countries are 27 countries, and probably we have already, we have still 8, 10 different currency in the European Union. Obviously, we have the euro, but there are many countries that maintained their currency. This is one point of strength of Turkey against Europe, against my country, because you have your own country. I agree 100% with you. There is no economy, there is no government in economy if the government of a country has not the monetary instrument in order to make industrial policy, monetary policy, economy policy. That's for sure. Somebody teach to me this 42 years ago in my first exam that I had in economy in university. My professor was Elsa Fornero, the former Minister of Labor in Italy in the government of Mr. Mario Monti. The first exam I did with her. And in his book, written by her and his husband, that was Professor Mario De Aglio, director of the 24 hours Sun, Sole 24 Ore, is the financial journal in Italy. So people that knows what is economy. In their book, there was written that in the Keynesian model, a government without the monetary instrument in his hands, without a currency to be managed, cannot do industrial and monetary policy and government policies. So in Turkey, you have another great arm in your hand against, for example, the EU. You have your currency. You can do monetary and industrial policies in this country. So it's up to your government and to your relationship with the government to be able to manage this opportunity you have in your hand.
Thank you so much. Now there will be our plaque ceremony. We kindly ask Honorary Paolo Momola to remain at our stage in order to receive his plaque. And we are inviting the head of Social Sciences Institute, Associate Professor Bahar Erdal, to present the plaque to Honorary Paolo Momola. Şimdi plaket törenimiz gerçekleşecek. Plaketlerini almak üzere Sayın Paolo Momola'yı sahnede tutuyoruz. Sayın Paolo Momola'ya plaketlerini vermek üzere Sosyal Bilimler Enstitüsü Müdürü, Doçent Doktor Bahar Erdal'ı sahneye davet ediyoruz.